I'm outside of Eagles Stadium, also known as the house that Kyler Murray built. Murray led Allen High School to 43 consecutive wins and 3 state titles back to back to back. Murray was named MVP in all 3 state championship games, and it's Murray's competitive drive paired with Allen's winning culture that helped prepare him for his success at every level. This is where Kyler Murray got his start to his legendary football career.
I think the majority of people, when they think who is the best high school football player of all time, the majority of people would put him number 1. He's the best high school football player I've ever seen.
I've only coached one of those guys. I mean, I'd love to coach another one. I couldn't compare him to anybody.
He was just such an incredible player. You could tell that he was always ready for the moment.
Kyler is literally one of the most competitive people you'll ever meet, completely aside from football. It's incredible.
They've been incredible ever since Kyler Murray showed up on campus as a young sophomore.
I didn't grow up in Allen. I grew up in Louisville, Texas. Moved to Allen my sophomore year.
He was probably only 14 at the time. As he came in, we kind of worked him in a little bit. He was a backup quarterback. We had a senior starter. Oliver Pierce was the starting quarterback at that point in time that had gone through spring football.
We kind of rotated a little bit back and forth, and at some point they kind of had to make the call, and he's a little bit better. I think it was after 5 or 6 games.
We lost the 5th game, lost it in overtime, but Kyler kind of comes in and plays well in the second half of that game. And I decided to make the move. And anytime you do have a quarterback change, a team can separate or come together. And the leader that Oliver was made it come together. And he moves back to inside receiver.
We all held each other accountable, and I think that's why we're so great. For Oliver to do what he did was very unselfish. He did it for the team.
Kyler takes over as the starting quarterback, and we don't ever look back.
Kyler Murray, from the time he was a sophomore, was the most polished quarterback I've ever seen in high school.
As a coach, you know what it is when you see it, but you can't coach it.
And he's just a really smart player, and you combine his awareness and his speed and his athleticism. He's the total package.
He's the fastest player I've ever seen running in pad. He had such vision and smarts, and he had an arm like a cannon. He never seemed flustered. That's about as good as it gets, right, for a quarterback.
He's a perfectionist, is what he is, and so as a leader, that's what you want, and as a quarterback especially.
I feel like the most special thing about Kyler is his mindset. He doesn't give a damn what the score is, who the opponent is. Like, we're going to come out on top of this game. You know what I'm saying? If I can have the ball in my hand one more time, we're going to come out on top.
There's so many over the years of runs that he's made, of passes that he's thrown, of games where we're behind by 20 and win by 20 because he just goes to work.
Allen and DeSoto for a couple years, I think it was like 4 years in a row, we were just able to pull it out at the end, and Kyler was obviously a big reason for that.
Well, I think something that not many people know about is the 2-point conversion against DeSoto. We were down, I want to say 17 in the 4th quarter. Against a good DeSoto team. Everybody knows who DeSoto is if you're from Texas. So, we had a 2-point conversion, and you just had to be there.
And that touchdown he scored right there at the end, it's just so Kyler Murray, because it was like, in a game that's that competitive, you know what I'm saying, for him to be able to have the last laugh.
He played in the largest classification. He never lost a game. And they were playing all the powers in the state. And Allen would always find a way to win, and they would find a way to win because Kyler Murray would find a way to win. He bailed their out so many times.
We had the best quarterback in the state of Texas ever, and we had the best, and we won every game with the best.
Coach Westy's right. If you look through the history, look at the teams, just go look at the amount of guys that are in the NFL now. We played them all, and we beat them all. It is something to be very proud of, especially the city of Allen, to do it how we did it. And when you win 43 straight, you win 3 state championships, that's something that, will probably never be done again.